Microbes are everywhere. On your phone, in your water bottle, or in your hands before you wash them, or after you wash them. And literally everywhere else on top of you too. Microbes are omnipresent at any moment, and there is nothing we can do about it. So millions of years ago, we made a pact. We gave them shelter and food, and in return, they work for us. But the more we learn about this partnership, the more it looks like a Cold War. Inside our mother's womb, humans start out sterile. When we are born and traveling through the birth canal, billions of our mother's bacteria cover every single part of our bodies. This is essential part of human health. Children born by a C-section have a higher rate of asthma, immune diseases, and even leukemia. So our bodies do not only accept invasion of microorganisms, they welcome it. Over millions of years, we co-evolved to make the best of our relationship. Mother's milk, for example, certain special sugar that are meant to feed and support certain groups of microbes, works as a decoy for others and help modulate the immune system. It takes up to 2 years until a healthy microbes community has formed. Every human has their own unique microbiome, made up of bacteria, viruses, fungi, and other organisms. We have 3 categories of guests on and in our bodies. Quiet passengers that do their own things and are politely ignored. By being this, they take up space and keep more aggressive intruders in check. Guests that harm us, but with whom we've learned to live. For example, a bacteria that literally create acid that melts our teeth. They want to take up as much as space they can get, and we don't want them to, but we can't get rid of it entirely. Friendly fellow that our bodies want to have around. Most of them are community of 380,000 billion bacteria from up to 5,000 different species that live in our gut. This gut microorganism help us to digest food and pull additional calories from things that we can't digest ourselves. Fortunately, our gut is also the perfect point of attack for intruders, so it is guarded by an aggressive army, our immune system. To survive here, our microbiome co-evolved with us to be able to communicate with our body. The most important part of that is to ask the immune system to not kill them. But they also have a real motivation to keep our guts healthy, so some of them produce messenger substance that help to educate the immune system, and others stimulates the gut cell to regenerate faster. But over the last few years, evidence has emerged that influence our gut microbiome goes much farther. It might even talk directly to our brain, or observe a few various things. 90% of our body serotonin, an important messenger substance for nerve cell, is produced in the gut. Some scientists think that microbiome does this to communicate with the vagus nerve, the information highway of nervous system. Other examples are bacteria that stimulate immune cell in the gut, so they send a kind of alarm signal to the brain. It activates immune cell that helps the brain recover from injuries. Since the brain decides what we eat, the microbiome is interested in a healthy brain. A new field of science is opening up here, and we're just on the verge of understanding on how the complex system inside our bodies interact. But we are starting to see how much our microbiome actually influences us and our behavior. Take depression, for example. Healthy rats feed microbes from the guts of depressed people, began showing anxiety-like behavior and symptoms that look like depression. In early 2017, a study linked the microbiome to intelligence by connecting a certain setup of bacteria in newborns with better motor language skills. But it might also influence our daily lives. Tests with fruit flies show that their microbiome influence what kind of food they crave. This could mean that your microbes are able to tell your brain which food it should get them, although this is not a one-way street. The seed for our microbiome come from our mother, but how it develops and changes is determined by what we eat. The organisms in our guts feed in different things. Some like fibers and leafy greens, others go for sugar and starch, and some love greasy fries and butter. Our gut is like a garden in which we constantly decide what will grow and blossom. If we eat healthily, we breed bacteria that like healthy food. If we eat a lot of fast food, then we breed fast food loving bacteria. Life is hard, so you can get trapped in a vicious circle. You have a stressful time and eat lots of burger and fries and pizza. This is awesome for a fast food bacteria. They multiply and take up space from vegetable-loving bacteria. But even worse, they send signal to your brain and continue what it's doing. This makes you want more fast food, which breeds more fast food bacteria, which makes you crave fast food bacteria, and so on. This kind of self-reinforcing cycle could play a huge role in obesity, but it is important to stress that you can fight this process and reverse by eating healthy and breeding more good bacteria. Beyond weight gain, our microbiome has also been linked to a serious disease like autism, schizophrenia, and cancer. One of the earliest symptoms of Parkinson is actually gut problem. If your body is overrun with bacteria that harm you, there is often only one solution. You bring in an army of good guys. That's very easy. You just transplant some healthy poop. You do that by literally transferring poop from a healthy person into your gut. This method is already used to cure diarrhea that cause when C. difficile bacteria take over a gut microbiome. But we just don't know enough about the complex interplay at work here yet. For example, a transplant from an overweight donor cured a woman's diarrhea, but contributed to her obesity down the lane. This caused some ways and another study to reverse the effect. Poop transplant from slim people to obese ones give them more diverse microbiome and made up less sensitive to insulin. Both things that also happen when people lose weight. We need to do a lot more science to really understand on how microbe makes us healthy or sick. But whether we like it or not, we need our microbiome and it needs us. We'll never have our bodies to ourselves, but we have gained powerful ally if we can just keep the peace.